Alaska Senator Dan Sullivan joins me now from Munich, where he is leading a bipartisan delegation to this weekend's security conference. Welcome, Senator. Great to have you here.
Thank you, Paul. Thanks.
So what's your reaction first to Alexei Navalny's death?
Well, he was a heroic Russian leader respected by millions. And I think it underscores the brutal nature of the Putin regime and also what a dangerous world in which we live in. But also it underscores something else, Paul, and that's how dictators like Putin or Xi Jinping or the Ayatollahs in Iran, how they fear their own people. Putin feared Navalny just like the Iranians fear their citizens. And it's something that, as we are in this great power competition again, we need to exploit this vulnerability of these dictators much more.
All right. Now, you're in Munich at the annual security conference. So what's the and that's a group of European and American leaders. What's your message to the Europeans about the U.S. commitment to NATO and to defending Ukraine?
Look, my message has been very much that one of the great comparative advantages we have in the United States is our network of allies. And we are here. It's actually a really big bipartisan group of senators and House members, over 30 who are here. And we want to strengthen and deepen these alliances. But my message is also a little bit of tough love, which is, hey, we're working on our supplemental, but all our NATO members have to hit their 2% of GDP target, right? That has been a frustration for many, many years. And I think this is a message that I've been delivering. And finally, it can't just be about weapons. You know, one thing I'm hearing from our European allies is dismay, literally dismay from the highest ranking European elected officials that the Biden administration at this moment is going to now decide to cut off American energy coming to our allies in Europe. I mean, that's going to force them into the arms of Putin again. So these are all the things that we're delivering and we're hearing at a conference like this.
That's the moratorium on liquefied natural gas exports that the Biden administration put on recently. But what are you hearing about the Europeans?
Makes no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, I know that you feel strongly about that, and so it's frankly so do I. But what are you hearing from the Europeans about their anxiety about the fact that while you did pass this through the Senate, the military package, it is still stuck in the House, and of course Donald Trump opposes it. How much anxiety are you hearing from on that front?
Well, look, we're definitely hearing anxiety, and one of the messages that I've delivered is that, you know, 70 to 29 is actually a strong vote, but I think in terms of Republican senators, there probably would be a lot more votes that we have. It's not as if our entire party or even most of the party is turning isolationist, but I did mention the complications of the border challenges that we have in the United States. So what I've been trying to do is explain what's happening. Of course, they're wondering what the next steps are going to be in the House. We have House members who are here. And what I've said is, you know, there's a lot of different avenues that this could come forward. But whenever I've met with the Speaker, when he's come over to brief Republican senators, he's been strong on Ukraine, on Israel, on Taiwan. So, you know, I'm saying, look, it's an important issue. We all got to be using our own comparative advantages and strengths, whether it's energy, whether it's European defense industrial base. And of course, Paul, as you know, this supplemental is actually a lot more about building up our own industrial base, our ability to produce weapons, whether nuclear subs or 155 millimeter howitzer rounds, than anything else. I mean, this is about our ability to defend ourselves. So a lot of discussions on all these topics.
Well, that last point you make, I know you've been stressing that and you gave a speech on the Senate floor hitting that point. And I think you persuaded some more of your colleagues to come over between the first cloture vote and the final vote. But what do they say to you, the opponents of this, when you tell them, look, these are American manufactured weapons. These are going to build up our base, which has deteriorated so much over the years as we've simply neglected an adequate defense. What's their response?
Well, it's not just that our own industrial base is withered. It's that the Biden administration has not been taking national security issues seriously. I mean, the president cuts the defense budget every single year. Next year, his budget will get us to below 3% of GDP, which is something we've only hit like 4 times in the last 70 years. The current budget shrinks the Army, shrinks the Navy, shrinks the Marine Corps. So my argument to my colleagues has been, this is about America's ability to defend ourselves. And this is a major overdue investment for our ability to rearm ourselves. Of course, we want to help our allies, but we got to help our ability to produce weapons and ammo right now. It's a very dangerous world out there. Look, I think that we're making progress on that argument. As you mentioned, we had a pretty strong movement of 5 different senators coming over. I do think the border issues complicate this. Biden has not tried to solve those at all. And here's the other thing that he hasn't done. He hasn't sat down with the American people and said, this is the strategic stakes. Even his speech a couple days ago tries to make it partisan, essentially saying, hey, if you're with me, you're with Ukraine and the good guys, or you're going to be with some, supposedly bad MAGA Republicans. That's not how you lead a nation. You're supposed to deliver the strategic imperative that we need to protect ourselves.
All right. Thank you, Senator Dan Sullivan. Appreciate it.